Welcome to the Connect Like Minds podcast. I'm the host, Sharryse. I interview people making a difference in their communities and in their creative spaces. Today's special guest is an award-winning broadcaster and podcaster, as well as the expert authority coach, which means she helps people get paid for what they already know. Welcome to the Connect Like Minds podcast, Christine Blosdale.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sharryse. It's so great to be with you. I'm so excited.
Me too. So let's jump right into the interview. Tell everyone where you're from.
Originally, I'm from the beautiful city of Los Angeles, the city of angels. And I am currently, though, living in New South Wales, Australia with my wonderful wife and our toy poodle.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
How's the weather right now in Australia?
I'm still not used to it. It's the complete opposite. So, you know how like in the States, December, January, February are cold months. Well, here it's the complete opposite. That's our summer. And so right now we're leaving summer and going into fall, which they call autumn here. They don't really call it fall. They call it autumn. So we're going into that, and that's when I like the temperatures, like when it's that, it's not winter yet and it's not summer heat. It's just in that middle ground. So it's going to start to get a little cooler, which I'm very excited about. Yeah.
Well, if it means anything to you, I love autumn and I love spring too. I'm not a fan of winter and summer at all.
No, they can just go away.
For real. So let's take it back to your childhood. What's one of the earliest memories you have as a kid that's shaped you into who you are today?
Oh, absolutely. See, my mother was originally from North Africa. She's from Casablanca, Morocco.
Okay.
And my mom was like absolutely stunningly beautiful, a cross between Elizabeth Taylor, Sophia Loren, and Cher. If you put those three women together, that was my mom, but with also a French Moroccan accent. And when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, I used to watch my mom get ready to go to work because she was a single mom and she had to work in a bar. And I would watch her get ready and just like mesmerized by how just gorgeous she was. And she'd be putting on her makeup and getting dressed. And she would always ask me before she would get ready to go, she'd say, "What do you think about my outfit? How do I look?" And I'd cross my arms and I'd look up and down. I go, this top goes with that. That's great. The skirt is but I think you should wear the black go-go boots instead of the white ones. Or whatever it was, right? Whatever the fashion, whatever my little gay fashion advice was at 4 or 5. And you know what she did? She changed. She changed.
Wow. So your opinion, she showed you that your opinion mattered at such an early age.
My opinion mattered so much that she would change. Now, this is a grown-ass woman.
Right.
But she knew also that I had good taste. And she'd be like, you know what? You're right. Okay. So at a really young age, I had that confidence that my opinion and my taste in things really mattered. And that carried over, and it carries over to today when I work with clients, because being the expert authority coach, I'm really a business coach who also taps into a bit of life coaching with my clients. But it's really about taking a looking at what they have done, looking at their website, looking at their social media, looking at their videos, their blogs, and telling them, hey, this is working. This is not working. This is confusing. I don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, what is, who are you serving? Those type of things. So I'm able to take a critical look at it and give my advice on how to make it better.
That's really cool. And I can't wait to talk to you more about that. But I guess, what was your dream job as a kid? Was it to be an expert authority coach, or was it something else?
No, we didn't have back then. They didn't even have business coaches. It was, a teacher. And that's what I find. Anyone who is a good coach, life coach, fitness coach, business coach, the core is that you are a good teacher, or you want to be a good teacher. And so I always I had a teacher when I was really young who I admired and who was so kind and understood how I learned. That's the other thing. A good coach or a good teacher doesn't just teach everybody the same way. You
Yeah.
pick out those students who learn a certain way with the words that you use, or if you give them a visual, or if you give them an analogy, or if you give them a story. So that's what I wanted to be. And then I went to college. Eventually I went to college and got my teaching credentials. And then I found out how much they pay public school teachers and what you have to do for the first 2 years. And I was like, oh no, I don't think so. So I took a bit of a detour, but all those detours landed me in a really good spot. So yeah,
Okay,
I want to be a teacher.
We're going to talk about those detours in just a second. Yeah. So the next segment is called Digging Deeper. And during this segment, I'll ask you some thought-provoking questions about your personal life and your career. So take us through the journey, okay, of how you went through those different detours and it got you to where you are today.
Yes. So knowing that I wanted to be that a teacher, and again, I didn't. There was not the terminology of a coach or coaching was not. When you talked about being a coach, it was about being a coach of a softball team or a football team or a basketball team. That's the only coach that we had back in the day, right?
Yeah. Right.
But on my road, on my way there, it's interesting. You have experiences and you get skills. You develop skills through life's weird little, maze that you go through. And at a relatively young age, I got the golden opportunity to work for this little thing called America Online. And that was, now we did not have YouTube. We did not have TikTok. We did not have Facebook. We had AOL.
Yeah.
And I got a great opportunity to write for them an entertainment column. And it was called The Daily Fix. Some of your listeners who are maybe a little older will remember that. And I got to really hone my craft in how to communicate only through written word because we didn't have video presentations then. And so I had to really convey my thoughts, and I got to be brutally honest on my movie reviews. I got to interview lots and lots of celebrities and, actors and actresses and go to premieres and all of that. And that was lovely and it was fun and it was exciting. But then 9/11 happened and, that just changed everything for me because I was looking at what I was doing for a living and I was thinking, this is so shallow in the great scheme of things. Like, who cares who, Angelina Jolie is dating or what they're wearing or any of that in the great scheme of things. And so as it is, when you're at that crossroads in life and you're looking for something, I was listening to a radio station when I was driving. You're in traffic all the time in LA anyway. So you're stuck in traffic and you do the channel surfing thing that you do. And I came across this radio station and I was like, wow, this is so refreshing because it wasn't all fear. It was people asking questions and actually giving me a history lesson on the Middle East and American politics and all of that. And I was like, wow, I didn't understand any of this because we weren't taught any of it. So I actually was drawn to go to that radio station, to drive there and to thank everyone. And I did. I drove, pulled up the parking lot, walked in and said, can I just thank everybody for what they're doing during this really crazy time? And they said, sure, come on in. And and I did. And I walked around and just said, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And somebody said, so what do you do? And I said, I write for America Online. I do Hollywood stuff for America Online Entertainment. And they said, well, that's cool. That's awesome. And they said, you should think about volunteering. If you ever want to work here at the station, we need volunteers. And I was like, oh, I can do that? I'm like, yeah. So I started just volunteering a day a week, type thing. And then what happened is that Hollywood story, somebody's leaving and they need to fill a spot. And Christine, would you want this job? It pays absolutely crap, no money. Like $10 an hour or something ridiculous. And I was pulled to it. My logical brain was saying, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You make all this good money over here. And this is like, pay, you can't even, there's no way you can make that work. but something was pulling me, and it was bigger than my logical brain. And so I followed that. And then one thing led to another. I got a producer position. Then I got the opportunity to go on air because the host was sick. Again, another Hollywood story. Christine, you gotta go on stage because the star has broken their leg.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, Sharryse. I had imposter syndrome. I was so scared of my own voice. And I said, I can't do this. I'm behind the scenes lady. I'm the producer. I'm the writer. I can't be. And they said, you got to do it because it's 5:00 and there's nobody to host the show, and that's you. You're going to have to do it. And so I very reluctantly got into that studio. And, you go in there and it's like the vault. You go in, there's nobody in there. It's usually freezing cold. I pulled the microphone close to my mouth. I looked at the guy behind the glass who was my engineer. They're playing the music. They're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna get sick." Right? And I'm like, "No, I'm not." I put the headphones on, or the cans, as they say in the industry. And then the on-air light went on, and it was like my whole life changed.
Wow!
It was magic. It was like that on-air light went on, and I realized that I was going to be connecting with thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of people in Los Angeles during a very busy time, drive time.
Yep.
And the words just came out. The right words came out. And I could feel the audience. I couldn't see them. I couldn't hear them, but I could feel them. And I knew I was like sitting there going, this is it. This feels good.
This feels right.
And I was there for 20 years. I was
wow.
there. Yeah.
Wow. I would like to say that I feel like, in my opinion, radio broadcasting is probably like the most intimate form of broadcasting out there. Like, it's just you and the person in the car that you're listening to going down the road.
Wow. It's powerful. It's so powerful. And it's a great responsibility as well.
Yes.
Because when you think about the words that you choose to say, they need to be very wisely chosen and spoken. And to appreciate the art of the interview, but also to appreciate the pauses. A pause, you're in the industry. You do a pause long enough, the general manager or the program director will come over and look through the window and go, "What's going on? Are we off the air?"
You can't have any dead space at all.
Yeah. It's like, but sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's required, the pause, right?
Yeah, it is. Agreed.
Yeah.
So after the 20-year run, what led you to becoming the title authority coach?
Well, one thing that little girl who liked to give advice on what my mom should wear, she never left. She's always been with me. So during that time, I'd be interviewing amazing people, authors, thought leaders, Michael Bernard Beckwith, spiritual, amazing people. And I couldn't help myself, but when I'm talking to them, not so much on air, sometimes I would leave it for, after we're off the air, but these ideas would come. I work intuitively, and I'll just, something will drop, and I'll be talking to them, and I'll think, oh my goodness, I wonder if they did this, if they wrote a book about this, or if their website had this or that or the other. And I would tell them, I would give them like tips. I would say, hey, do you ever think about doing this?
Yeah.
And they'd look at me like I was nuts. I'd go, oh my gosh, how did you know? I've always wanted to do that. Or, I hadn't thought about that. Is that something? So I started giving my advice, and quite a few people actually followed up with me, and they were like, hey, would you mind taking a look? Can I hire you to do this? Can you read my book before it gets published? Can you give me some advice on how to market it or how to brand it? And that's how it kind of started. And then this thing called podcasting came around, and I was like, oh, because at the radio station, even though I had a great deal of creativity, there were certain things, that you could not and you're up against a clock. So you have a 20 minute clock for segments. And it's like, you got to take that break when you need to take that break. You couldn't, if you're even talking about the most amazing thing, you got to go to the next segment or whatever.
Right.
And so podcasting was so interesting to me because it was still that intimate art form, that's still that connection based on our voice and communication and getting stories out there. But it was something that could last. It wasn't terrestrial where, if you missed the broadcast, at 5:00, you missed a good show and you would never know. Now, of course, we can have archives and things. But back then it was kind of like, it's said, it's done. So podcasting was very intriguing to me. And I was like, yep, I can do that. I can do that.
For sure. And then, like you were saying, you don't have to be in the time constraints. Like, you can be long form.
You can go 10 minutes or you can go 2 hours. Yeah. It's up to you. Yeah.
And it better be entertaining if it's 2 hours.
Yes. Yeah. We're not all Joe Rogans. We can't hold an audience for 3 hours necessarily.
Right. Now, one of the first topics I want to talk about is branding. And, you mentioned marketing and branding. When you tell your clients they can build a brand that magnetically attracts people, what does that look like? And can you give us some examples of that?
Yes. Okay. So a lot of times as entrepreneurs and business owners and coaches, we don't see the full picture, right? Yeah. We think that the way we're communicating on our website, the images or the text, we think that people understand exactly what we're saying. And many times we're missing the mark. Okay. And I like to always say, and I forget the person to quote, but the concept of delivering your content as if your audience is a fifth grader. I think it's one of the best pieces of advice. And I wish I knew who it was who said it, because I would give them credit. And people go, well, that's ridiculous. A fifth grader, my potential clients are much more educated. No, it's not about that. It's about being really clear. And what happens is that I'll go to I'll go to a client's website and they'll say, I'm a business coach. I want to help people, women in business, make more money and get over their the obstacles, their mindset obstacles. Okay, cool. But I'll go to their website and it's all about them. It's all about what school they went to and how I've got this degree and that degree and I'm an expert at this, that, and the other. And there's nothing on the website that is addressing the person who might be interested in working with them, right? Who's going, I'll find out a little bit more information. Oh, that Sharryse is interesting. Let me find out a little bit more to see, maybe I could work with her. But if the website is all about Sharryse or all about Christine and not about the hero who is your client visitor, who is the client, right? Yeah. Then there's a disconnect because they don't see themselves in your story. They don't see themselves. And so they definitely don't see that you can solve their problem or help them. So my whole thing, and people ask me, they go, so what is this? What are you? Expert authority? What is that? And I basically say, I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs, coaches, women in business, right? Who are overwhelmed. I help them get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. So there's not this big learning curve that people have to do this big, huge journey. It's something that you already have, but we're going to pluck out the gems or the gold, right? Yeah. And we're going to showcase that. But you got to be seen and you got to be heard and you got to get trusted in order for people to pay you. So that's what we do. That's what I like to work on. And I love it. I love it. I love doing that.
I love that you're doing that for people. I remember when I first started Connect Like Minds and I was just trying to figure out things and I saw people charging I'm going to make up a number, but it was probably higher than that, $500 for something that you could just Google. Literally, you could just Google it and figure it out. And I'm like, wow, people are up here charging for that. And it really shows how, I guess, how people are willing to take advantage of those people who do feel overwhelmed and stressed out with trying to create brand identity and things like that. So Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh,
You're doing good work.
oh yeah. And then there's the funnel people, I call them the funnel people. I just wrote a piece for LinkedIn just the other day about people are, it's not about your course. It's not, in courses, people are very disconnected from you, right? It's like, I call it shelf help. People buy it or they download it and then they never go through with it. But, the funnels and the courses, that's not what is going to connect a potential client or customer to you.
Agreed.
It's, do you solve their problem?
Yep.
And if you solve their problem, also if you are in their price range. Because, if you're $10,000 for your mastermind, you're going to only be able to attract a certain level of person, right?
Right.
My mastermind for women, I purposely made it super duper inexpensive. Because I need more women to come into my mastermind to get the skill set and the tools that I have so that they can be successful. And that is my target audience. That is who I help. The CEOs, the six-figure CEOs, that's not my jam. That's not my thing. They've got a staff that can work on their marketing and their branding, right? And their logo. But the woman who's in business does not have a staff. It's just them. And so I want to support them. And there's some brilliance out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some brilliant women. But they just need support.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. You got to think about a lot of things.
You do. You really do. Social media, website, like all the things you mentioned earlier. And especially when with older, like I feel like not just with probably not millennials, but baby boomers and things like that, they're used to not having the internet, and word of mouth and business cards over this digital era or space that we're in. So
we used to have typewriters and microfiche at the library. We actually had to type it. All right.
I mean, I type not on
with whiteout. We had to do whiteout. We had to do that little liquid paper thing, and it would get all over. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. I cannot imagine it, but I've seen one before. They look pretty cool. I can only imagine like dealing with that though. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
No.
I do remember dial-up, and you mentioned AOL earlier.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't talk on the phone because, we're using the internet at the house. So that's about and then I remember phones being connected to cords. That's about, and payphones,
Oh, I remember payphones too.
I don't even think I've seen a payphone in years, man.
Get this. If you wanted to go somewhere that you've never been before, you had this thing called the Thomas Guide. Well, we had it at least in Los Angeles, and it's a map. It's you'd find the street. It's all on paper. We didn't have We didn't have a phone with any kind of maps on it. You couldn't just put a coordinate in there and it tells you to go left, go right, go 8 miles. No, you had this thing called the Thomas Guide, and you had to look at it. And it took forever to get anywhere. We didn't go very many places.
I would say the closest thing to that I had was probably MapQuest, but that was still on the internet.
Like, that's still on the internet. Yeah, that was luxury. That was luxury.
I'm sorry. We've come a long way, though. We've come a long way.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
All right. My next question is, what's the biggest mistake people make when trying to build a personal brand?
Oh, there's so many mistakes. I'll tell you, copying, comparing and copying, right? Not being authentic.
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things right now is authenticity and truthfulness, honesty, but authenticity. It's so valuable, and people throw it away. They go, well, I'm not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need to do what this person's doing or look like this person or have my website be like theirs, have the same kind of offers as them because they're successful, or they in our minds we think that they're successful.
Right.
And so we're like, well, if it's working for them, I can borrow that and it'll work for me. And it won't. And many times it doesn't. Authenticity is going to be rewarded even more as we move on. Right now, we look around. Hollywood is crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, all that glitters is not gold. We are looking and we're like, oh my God, it's been a lie.
Yeah.
When somebody is on television and they start talking, we know when they're lying. We're like, you're a liar. You're lying.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing with the video content that we produce or the books that we write. People are going to be able to see through it. So I would say that's probably one of the things that is quite prevalent, is people thinking that they have to do something or be something other than themselves. And I'm saying, no, authenticity is going to be your golden ticket.
Authenticity is king.
Yes. Yes.
You offer a service called the 90-Day Expert Authority Shift. What is the 90-Day Expert Authority Shift, and what happens during those 90 days?
Yes. So this is a way for, especially for women in business, to work with me in a very high contact way. Every single week we meet, and I've designed the sessions to be 90 minutes. So it's 90 days, 90 minutes a week. And that's because that's just enough time for us to do a lot, to get a lot covered, a lot done. It's not about, I am not going to sit there and spout to you and say, this is what I think you should do. Blah, blah, blah. We get our hands dirty and we actually go in and create content for you. I'll create a media kit for you, a branding, a title, a name, a title for you and your business. Sometimes we'll work on doing that signature statement. So my signature statement is, I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs and women in business get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. I could say that in my sleep. And when I work with my clients, we get that mantra, whatever that mantra is, so that when they're asked on a Zoom call, when they're in the grocery store, it comes out easily and it's very clear and concise at what they do. So we work on that. We work on the website. We work on their social media. Some people, they're a good candidate to have their own podcast. And if they are, then I create that with them, for them. It's always their property, but I help them get through the how to record, how to edit, how to and then also on helping them with video content, helping them with their blogs or their newsletter, all of that. So we go through the whole thing, but we make sure that the foundation, which is what a lot of people miss, the foundation of their business is set up. So there's an easy way for people to book time with you. There's an easy way for people to pay you. There's an easy way for you to communicate your message, right? So I find that, and I don't believe in long contracts, like, 6 months or a year. 3 months, 90 days is just enough to get all of those things set up. And even to get you started to be a guest on podcast shows so that you can start promoting. But I don't want to send you off on podcast shows until you have your brand and your business and your offers all lined up and ready to go. That's the thing, is people extend themselves too soon. It's not ready. The cake is not baked yet. Right. And they're trying to to promote their programs. So we do that. And in 90 days, we get a lot of it done. And then they're welcome to stay with me. I have clients that stay with me after the 90 days. Wow. They stay on the accelerator program. And then other people, they do the 90 days and then they go, okay, you know what? Let me fly for a bit because we got a lot done. And then I'll just come back and get a tune up every now and then. And they'll book a single session. But that's 90 days is it's a sweet spot. It's not too much for people to commit to, but it's enough time that I have like 12 sessions with people. So it's a good amount of time together. Yeah.
That's awesome. How important is storytelling in building expert authority?
Oh, it's absolutely. It again, it creates that authenticity and your relatability. So when we first started talking and you asked me that first question, I bet you, now not everybody listening to this or watching this grew up in Los Angeles or had a mother from North Africa or was an opinionated little child, but they all traveled with me, as did you, to that little girl watching her beautiful mom get ready.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention anything about my business. It was all about my experience, because as I related that story, not only could I feel and remember what it was like, the audience was also able to do that. And
Yeah.
so story and the power of story is very, very important. And especially if you've overcome obstacles, if you've achieved something when most people would have maybe crumbled, but you were able to overcome, those are great stories. Those are powerful stories. So yes, and stories about your clients, your success stories. Those are
Yeah.
important too. Yeah, absolutely.
What mindset shift has to happen before someone can truly step into being seen as an authority?
The mindset shift that I probably witnessed the most that needs to occur, and luckily with the people that I work with, they get there, is being confident, extremely confident in your skill set,
I
and
agree.
without ego. There's no ego. It's just being extremely confident. Um, I know. Can I answer everybody's question about everything? No. Uh, can I? Are there 8 million other business coaches out there? Yes, but there's nobody that has the experience that I have. My unique experience,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
in broadcasting, right? Being in media, being at AOL. After AOL, I was at Microsoft, MSN.
Oh,
All
wow.
those different experiences uh, shaped me. And so that's what I want to make sure we get across, is that everyone is unique. And so your growing up and your community and your parents and your education and your ups and your downs, and when you fell down and stumbled and completely crashed out, those are all experiences.
For
And
sure.
when you own that, that's the confidence. When you say, you know what, I'm damn good at what I do. I am really confident in what I do and how I help people. That right there that's sexy. And I don't mean
Yes.
sexy like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, damn, that's confidence.
For sure.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever had a client that had maybe a huge ego? How did you navigate dealing with them and breaking that up
No, I
collectively?
I
No?
I am lucky I repel those people.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, if anything, it's about because especially because with women, we're taught, it's all about other people, and you're here to serve other people, make sure your children are great, and your husband or your
Yeah.
wife are great, or your you know community is great, and so I got to work sometimes hard on getting women to realize their value, you
Mm.
know, and that says a lot about our society.
Yes, it
Um,
does.
my older the women I work with, women that are in their 60s, and I've got some in their late 70s, and they're fabulous because they're like, I'm over that. I'm like, I don't need to prove myself to anybody. They're
Yeah.
very confident in who they are,
Wow.
and so they're ahead of the game in that respect.
That's
But yeah,
good.
that's
That's good.
yeah.
I'm glad
No,
you're
no
repelling
ego.
that.
No egos. No, no. I in radio industry, I worked for somebody who had a huge ego, and it was
Oh.
horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
Look, later I can tell you some stories, okay?
Okay.
For someone who's listening today and wants more clients or more influence, what's one action they could take this week to fix that, to help with that?
Oh. Okay. I'll tell you one thing that you can do. It's a simple thing. Well, yes, it's a simple thing. uh, Work on your branding, and I'm talking about that. It's not so much. It's not your logo or the colors that you use. You want to make sure that you have a really good headshot.
Yeah.
And I know people go, wait, a photograph? Yeah, yes. Because you could be brilliant, and if you have crappy photos of yourself, people are gonna go, you're not professional. Okay, you're not a success. You're not successful. It costs maybe a couple $100 to book in with a photographer who specializes in headshots and portraits, and get a really good photograph that you can then use and slap that puppy all over the place. Put it as your social media profile. Put it as your in your media kit, right? That you have, and you should have a media kit if you don't have one yet. Put it on your website. Put it on your emails. All over the place, as long as it's that shot that really represents you. That will open a lot of doors, and that's the first easiest thing that you can do. And people go, oh, I don't know if I don't know about that. It's a good exercise. Get comfortable being in front of the camera as well.
Oh yeah. What challenges have you had to overcome in building your own brand?
I wouldn't really necessarily say they were. I'll tell you, in the very beginning, I was like a lot of your audience and your listeners as well, and some of my clients too, is that I didn't know what to call myself, right?
Yeah.
And so just saying a business coach was a little too
generic,
all over the place,
broad,
generic, yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to call myself that. I'm going to call myself a media coach, because it's all about media, right? Social media, video, website. But then I was like, but I'm not just about that. I'm not just about media. And it sounds like I'm, some news agency. I was like, no, that's not what I am. And I just kept going back and forth with what I do. And because also a lot of it is, it's not therapy, but a lot of it is motivation, motivating people and inspiring them. I just kind of said, well, what is it that I do? And I hone in on people's expertise, right? And draw that out of them. You're an expert in this. And you know why? Because XYZ, because you've done this, you've experienced this. And then the authority part just kind of came in. It was like, now I'm seeing too, more and more people are using the phrase expert authority, but it's really that authenticity thing coming in. So it's being confident in what you do, no ego, not being, arrogant, but it's hanging your coat on that and going, yep, that's what I do. That's who I am. Right.
Okay, cool.
So the whole expert authority thing came in there. And then you go and you trademark it. If it's like something that's a cool little phrase, trademark it.
Agreed. As soon as I came up with Connect Like Minds when I was in the Marines, and that was like in 2013. And so as soon as I had enough money, because you don't make that much money in the military, I trademarked it. So.
Good for you. Oh, you get an A+ in my class.
Thank you.
Star student over here, Sharryse.
So the next segment is called Uncomfortable Questions, and I'll ask you some either or questions, and you have to choose one and explain why. Are you ready for this game?
I'll try. Yes.
All right. First one, live on a beach for the rest of your life or live in the jungle for the rest of your life? Oh,
on the beach.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Because the beach is awesome. You got sand, you got like fish you can eat, right? If there's trees there, you can maybe have a coconut or a banana. But if you got fish, you're all right.
What about shelter?
What about it? I can build it from. Oh, I see. You're thinking. Though. So you're thinking it's a beach and I have nothing.
Well, see, I made it too broad because there could be trees, and if there's trees, then you would have shelter. But if there's no trees,
but see, the option is the jungle.
Yeah,
you could die. Hell no. I don't like snakes. I don't like reptiles. I don't like spiders. No.
They're in
no jungle.
Australia though. All of
But
that.
and mosquitoes. You got and mosquitoes in jungles and all kinds of things. No, I will take the beach. I will have a very dark suntan. I will be sunburned over going into the jungle. No problem.
Okay. Are most people overlooked or just not good yet?
Well, it depends on the people. What kind of people?
I'm going to go with people that you're targeting and with your business.
Are they overlooked or are they just not good enough yet? Well, the women that reach out to me, it's mostly overlooked, right? It's
Okay.
They've done all the work. They've got all the skills. They just don't know how to put it all together and showcase it. So I would say mostly overlooked on that one.
Okay. Is imposter syndrome real or an excuse to avoid visibility?
I think it is, and we label it imposter syndrome, but there's probably a better name for it, and it's fear.
Yeah.
It's being afraid, and it affects everyone. It's whenever we're asked to stretch or whenever we're asked to do something that we've never done before or we're not comfortable doing, then we'll encounter that. But it's also that we're worried about what other people will think of us.
Yes.
What are people going to say? What are people going to think? And that gets triggered. And it doesn't matter how many degrees you have, how many times you've gone up on stage or you've talked. It can affect, and it often affects overachievers. Yeah. So it affects a lot of people. And so it's a moment. I like to I tell my clients who experience it a lot. I say, if you look up in the sky and you see birds flying, like a group of birds or a flock of birds, just look up in the sky, and instead of following them, right, until you can't see them, because that would be a very long process watching these birds. And that's what like imposter syndrome can feel like. It's like a long time. It's uncomfortable. But I said, if you just have your range of vision on one spot and you notice the birds fly by and then they're out of your view, that's how you want to feel about imposter syndrome. It's just temporary.
Oh man, and I love that.
It's because you're scared. And the thing is that if you don't take a chance on things, you don't know what's on the other side of that. If I was so scared about going on air and I refused because my imposter syndrome was too much and I was not going to go on air, I wouldn't have had the career that I have. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Right?
Totally agree. I have so many stories I could tell you about imposter syndrome too. I'd be here all day. Do credentials matter or is perception more powerful?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I think credentials are important to a point, but perception probably trumps that. Because I have clients that come to me and they don't have a lot of experience. They don't have books that they've published or programs, but man, their personality is like off the charts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can do a lot with that. I can do a lot with that.
Okay. Is consistency more important than talent, or is talent more important than consistency?
These are hard ones, isn't it?
It's the last one. It has to be uncomfortable for you.
Listen, talent is extremely important, and I'll say that's probably the most important thing. But you got to be consistently showcasing your talent. You can't be really talented and then hide in your basement and think that people are going to find you, right?
Right.
And then there's people that are really consistent with things like on social media, but then there's not a lot of value out of it, right? So I would say talent is the most important, but you have to consistently show up.
Okay. Acceptable.
Yes. Okay.
The final segment is called Rants with Sharryse. And during this segment, you get to rant about whatever you want. You can rant about people not using signal lights while driving, people not bathing and using deodorant. I mean, the list is broad, whatever you want. But after you share your rant, you have to give us a solution to fix it. So the floor is yours. Share your rant.
Oh, I would say what it probably, and it's all work related because I'm so involved with it. Is it's not just podcast hosts or but coaches. Any presentation where the person is just talking about themselves, you know, I, me. I hate that. I can't stand that. And it gets to the point of I just need to leave. I will leave a workshop or a webinar if somebody's just starting off like that and they just go on and on about themselves. Yeah, again, it's not about you. It's about how you can help the audience and how you can help the people that are there. So how do I fix that? I don't know how to fix other people's issues with that, but I do know that I guess I would I'm very cautious about giving feedback to people because I also know to do it constructively and to do it as a friendly suggestion, not as a brutal takedown. I've noticed I've done some things on social media and posted some videos on YouTube and things, and the comments are just so mean sometimes. There's some beautiful, wonderful, absolutely wonderful comments, but the ones that are, man, they can be so mean and heartless.
For real.
And meant to slap, meant to hurt. And so I would be very, very cautious in how I would tell somebody that maybe they should change their tactic a little bit.
All right, maybe you guys should change your tactic. You know who you are.
Yes.
Before you leave today, can you please share your social media and your website with our listeners so they can connect with you and your podcast as well?
Okay. So the podcast they can find, it's my title. It's the Expert Authority Coach Podcast. And it's all, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all over the place. But to book, if they wanted to have a call with me, a discovery call, they can do that. It's free. And they can do that at expertauthoritycoach.com. And there's buttons all over the place where they can book that call in so we can have a chat about their business, about what they want to do, and what issues they're having. Like if they feel that they're not connecting or they're maybe missing out on some social media tips and stuff like that, they can do that. And then if people want to actually rate them, get a rating, get a scorecard on their expert authorityness, they can take the free quiz. It's 10 easy questions you should be asking yourself anyway. And that is at the expertauthorityquiz.com website. They can go there and check it out. And you get a score at the end as well.
Cool. I think I'm going to go do that after this. Yes. See how it goes.
Okay, good.
Well,
thank you again, Sharryse. You're wonderful. You're lovely.
Thank you too. I had such a great time with you. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. It was awesome having you chat with me today.
I really respect it. I'm very grateful and thankful that you gave me the opportunity to be with you today and in your audience. So thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you for listening to Connect Like Minds.